Good afternoon, Keller Williams.
We're rocking today, man. We're rocking.
We are, man. Absolutely. Peter is in his awesome new office at KWRI. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Although neither one of us would be opposed to such opportunities. If anybody, at that level is listening, that'd be amazing. But anyway.
So we're just doing a quick plug for ourselves. Let's just go for it. So Richard Branson,
you have to ask for the opportunity.
Yeah, Richard Branson, if you're listening, we like the color red, we like your planes, and we'd love to deal with your tech. How's that sound?
Yep, absolutely. So this is episode 11 of Labs Advisors Live. It is. Can you believe it? It is. Episode 10 was with our favorite Canadian, Ryan Turnbull, right before family reunion. And so now we are episode 11, and we're going to recap some of family reunion. I was able to go. Peter was here holding the fort down for his 5 market centers. But he knows some of the stuff that's been talked about. So we're going to talk about some of what happened at family reunion and some exciting announcements that we're allowed to talk about because they were.
You know what I just heard though.
Yeah,
you know what I just heard about. So
can we talk about it?
Yeah, okay. Couple of people said to me that one or two people said it was the best one they've ever been to.
Mm-hmm.
But a bunch of people have said it was a bit confusing, like the events, the timing of things, the distance to stuff didn't seem like it was all together. So they were frustrated, and they said that they probably wouldn't go back, which is scary, right? So we need to be looking at that somehow and seeing whether we can make things a little more streamlined, or it could just be that the communications were a bit tricky. I don't know, but there was just some mixed feedback. Great overall, obviously.
Yeah, it was. And I will tell you, it was my favorite family reunion ever. My wife would probably be a little bit disturbed by that because she wasn't there. It was one of the few that I haven't been to with her. Actually, I've never been to one without her. And she's been to a couple without me. But it was the best I've been to. It's unfortunate to hear, that feedback. Obviously, you can't make everybody happy. There were some issues, like, a lot of people experience, and you got to consider the workload on our tech team, right? I mean, they're trying to get command, functioning with new features and all that stuff, and then there's the events app, and a lot of the stages that were in the main exhibit area, the exhibition area, those stages actually had the list of the facilitators and the panelists. However, for a lot of the breakout rooms, there was no names of the panelists or the facilitators, things like that. And I think it was a lot of, probably last minute trying to get things ready as best as they could. And again, consider the workload on the tech team, and the tech team is doing amazing things for us.
So on the positive side, I've seen quite a few people talking about the AI tech thing that you did, and they're wanting the video of it. So I guess you're getting that video together. So that's good.
Yes, I am. And I'm not.
What did you discover that was non-tech? Let's just take the tech out of it. What was like the most impactful thing? Did you see the two main presenters? The two.
I did. I saw. So Tony Robbins and Mel Robbins. They were both amazing. I'll give my feedback on what that looks like. Never seen anybody of that caliber before as far as motivational speakers. Tony was awesome. I did what I normally do, which is when I'm at family reunion, I kind of go to those events and sit in the back of the room by myself. And then with Mel, she was fantastic. However, I'll tell you, I got annoyed right away. And this is one of my biggest pet peeves with family reunion. When you go into that big event center that is monstrous, and people from their market centers, there's 2 people in there for a party of like 20. One's at one end of a row, the other's at the other end of the row, and they're saving a whole row of seats, and then other people's butts aren't there. I just get, quite transparently, I just get pissed off and leave.
Yeah.
I go to sit in a seat that's clearly open, and you tell me 9 chairs away that it's being saved. I can't stand that. I think it's out of culture, to be honest with you.
No, it's kind of like when you go on vacation and they put the beach towels down at 5 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, it's like, no. They're going in the pool. Yeah, that's what's happening with those towels.
That's right.
They're in the pool, and you'll be in it next.
That's right.
Out of my way, buddy. So, what was the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing? So, like, I'm at this moment in my life.
Is awesome.
Right. Well, so I've never heard of it. Right, but I've seen a graphic on the screen, and it's basically if you get like anxious, is it, or you're not sure of yourself, you count backwards and just go anyway.
So here's what it is. It's Mel Robbins. It's Mel Robbins talking about the 5-second rule, and we're not talking about if you drop, a piece of food on the dirty floor and you've got 5 seconds to pick it up before all the germs, destroy it, and then you get sick and blah blah blah. It's not the 5-second rule that we know about as kids, and it's something that I could really relate to. Like she kind of took a long time getting there, but once she got there, I was like, light bulbs going off. Ding! Yeah,
honestly, all those motivational gurus, right?
Yeah,
they have one tiny idea, and then they go make 500 grand by expanding it into a 90-minute long rah-rah presentation. They could literally just say, "Feel the fear and do it anyway."
Right. Okay. Well, we are not talking about the amazing speakers that were there for us. However, there are a lot of people that do exactly what Peter just said.
No, listen. I being British, right?
Yeah.
You don't find those motivational speakers across in Europe because in Europe we don't pay any attention to them.
Right.
No. It was just bring us something scientific, proven, peer studied,
right?
Get
the 5-second rule.
But not some like crazy notion that you thought of while you were having a couple of beers. That's so. But having said that, Phil Jones with his book. He's British and he's got a very, very excellent book, and he does great presentations, and he's a good one. But he doesn't overplay it, right? He doesn't overhype himself. He hasn't got dancers at the beginning and all that stuff.
Well, I figured out that as MCTTs, that's why we don't necessarily fill the room for all of our trainings all the time, because we don't have like a Taibo instructor and a couple beautiful dancers dancing every time we're talking. So.
Yeah.
So the 5-second rule, let me get back to that, because it's something that I think everybody can relate to. And that is that when you first have a thought, you have 5 seconds to act on it, because outside of those first 5 seconds, you will do anything you can to talk your way out of it by overthinking it. And then second thoughts come in and doubt comes in. And I'm totally that way.
Am I allowed to critique any of this? Just to...
I guess.
But I have a question. Is she saying that you should be?
Hold on. Let's flash a disclaimer up. I don't have it in text, but I will recite this disclaimer that Peter is in no way certified as any kind of motivational guru, and his thoughts are his and his alone.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. It sounds like she's saying be impulsive.
No, that's not it. That's not the way that.
Okay, so hang on. So what you just said to me was, if you have a thought, make sure you act on that thought within 5 seconds, because otherwise you might consider that you shouldn't be doing it.
Well, not a bad thought, but
even a good one.
If you consider doing something that it, like when you get out of bed. This was one of her examples. I get out of bed, and I know I need to go to the gym. I'm thinking about going to the gym. If I don't get my clothes on and start going in those first 5 seconds, I'm like, I can go tomorrow. I'll go later. Right. And I start talking myself out of it. So she's referring to positive thoughts, things that are the things that you need to do to be successful, whether it's personal, professional, spiritual life, right? Whatever it is. And I know that the satirical Brit in you is going to find some other way to spin it.
Well, I was just thinking was if you're in the supermarket, right, and someone's annoying you, within 5 seconds you blurt out exactly what you feel about them, because otherwise you'll reconsider and won't do it.
Well, I mean, what's wrong with that?
It sounds impressive to me.
That could be positive.
So I'm just playing with you. So basically, my sick sense of humor is very dry. I'm sure this lady is wonderful. She has the biggest podcast in the world. She's adored by many. I have watched her, and she is very compelling. Yeah. So
she is not married. She is not married to Tony Robbins, by the way. For anybody that thought they were related, they are totally unrelated.
Yeah, I don't know what Tony Robbins did to his arm, but kudos to him for actually having that surgery and then coming on stage and jumping up and down.
Yeah,
right. That shows that he was using the 5-second rule because he's like, I could just say I can't do this.
He had surgery for, I believe it was bone spurs in his elbow.
Ooh.
And he even said, like 3 days ahead of time, he was in tremendous pain, and that, he could have called and canceled and was pretty sure that people would understand, but that wasn't him. So that absolutely showed his integrity. I know that Gary Keller and, Mark King and Jason Abrams and everybody at the top, that they all really appreciated that, because Gary has that kind of integrity, which we're going to talk about a little bit later when we talk about some of the exciting new things coming. So yeah. And then he was on, you can imagine going through that kind of thing. He was on some pretty hardcore pain pills, and he was trying not to take them while he was in that.
Yeah.
I think he eventually had to, because I can't even imagine the pain that he was in. But yeah, the integrity and the character that shows in somebody who last minute had surgery like that and then still honors his obligations was amazing.
Yeah. Have you ever seen his son?
I have not. Nope. Didn't know he had one other than the 3-year-old. Do you know that he has a 3-year-old son right now?
No, it's so Jyrek Robbins is about 35, 40 years old. Yeah. And I actually saw him in person in a very small setting, and he did his motivate. He was amazing. I'm because you see, there's the reason I joke about it is there are authentic motivational gurus. There are very few of them that are authentic, right? So I can name a few that are, which are genuinely, they stand up to scientific rigor, let's put it that way. But a lot of them that are not in our industry, but are in other industries like multi-level marketing and affiliate marketing and all those type of sales gurus out there, they're absolutely full of it. You're just, it's like, no way am I buying any of this. It's like, this is chaos. So anyway, on Peter's comment about Mel, let's be honest.
Hold on. I'm going to bring it up. Hey,
you haven't put it up. Okay, bring it up.
I don't like, this is why I don't like being in two separate places. I really like it when you're here.
Right, we'll read it out now. So on Peter's comment about Mel, let's be honest, the overwhelming majority of our events and classes boil down to generate leads, follow up with them, and then we come back year after year to hear it. So
you know what they're saying, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a science to sales, right? Mm-hmm. There is a science. And Phil Jones was there. And I believe Phil Jones is now not employed, but contracted with KWRI, which is interesting.
People gathered that there was some kind of relationship there. Yeah, but we don't know what it is.
And the very cool thing about him is, one, he's British. You're gonna, that's a checkbox right there.
Superior.
That just helps. So, but besides him being British, his philosophy is broken down into action, which is you've got to be quick, right? So if it's like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing. If you've got a lead, you should count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and follow it up, right?
Yeah.
You should just literally follow up immediately because striking while the iron's hot is the key. And then I get what this person's saying, like generate leads and follow up with them. It is. We are a lead generation business because there isn't a store that people walk into and say, hello, I'd like to list my house anymore. That used to be like that in the 1950s. Right. You had a store and people walked in and said, I'd like to sell my house. Let's sit down, sir. Let's go through the papers. So that's gone, right?
Honestly, it was even like that up into the early 2000s, but for the last decade, that is not the case anymore.
No. So
which is why there's been so many brokerages that pop up that have absolutely no brick and mortar whatsoever, right?
Yeah. Which I prefer the brick and mortar because of the culture that it creates, and the access to resources and the kind of camaraderie and support and all that. Yeah. So, but anyway, my point is, lead generation is the king, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even if you're really good at generating leads, you've got to be really good at what he says or she says, follow up with them. And then we do come back year after year to hear the same thing. So it is fundamentally the same message. I get that.
And that's what I'm getting out of this comment is that we're told year after year what to do, and we know what we need to do, yet we don't always do it. So we keep coming back year after year to hear the same message that hopefully it sticks, and we're more accountable each year, right? It's almost like we're coming back for accountability in the message.
Yeah, but we're human, right? We're human. We're human. Yeah. And it's very hard to hear no 100 times to find the one person that says, yes, I want to sell my house today. Please come round and take a look at it. Right. And it can take 100 contacts, you know, and like my neighbor at the moment, he's got his house for sale. I can clearly see what's wrong and why it's not selling, but I can't say a word to him because he's in contract with another real estate agent.
Right.
I can't go over to him and say, so I can see an opportunity right in front of me that I can't take.
Yeah.
And I can't help the man, even though he needs it, because he's in contract with somebody else. But
if you were a real estate agent, you could do that. But
I am a real estate.
No,
I am a real estate agent. I'm licensed. Oh, I mean a realtor. Yeah.
But because you're a realtor, you cannot.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's not just a code of ethics. So there's torturous interference with a contract, which is, you know, you can be sued for. Yeah. But so for realtors, it's really hard every day getting up and keeping your nose on the grindstone, right, and pushing forward when there's so much rejection in the business and so much disappointment and so many things go wrong and opportunities that rise up don't come to fruition. So you've got to have like a will of steel, right? You really do to be in real estate and be successful. You've got to learn that the next no is actually the stepping stone to the yes. Absolutely. So, but you've got to take those stepping stones.
Yeah, that's one of the first things they teach you in Bold. You know, I mean, I took my first Bold back in like 2010, and that was it's next. Don't get attached to
the outcome.
Exactly. Don't get attached to the outcome. Each no you get is a step closer to your first yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And what I've found is the people that let go of the outcome tend to be the most successful because the mood isn't twisted. And you know, because I mean, the horrible thing about our industry, and it is a horrible thing about it, is so many people join it, and then 5 years later they're no longer in it.
Yeah. Right. Well, another Bold law is what you focus on expands. And if you focus on that no and you let that get in your head and bring you down, and you'll spend your entire career failing because you're too attached to that outcome and those no's, and you just have to get in the right frame of mind. Right. Yeah. Which I mean, you know, do as I say, not as I do. I don't make those phone calls because I can't stand it. I hide behind the computer and lead generate that way. My wife is fantastic at the phone calls.
We've got AI now to be our warriors.
Right.
So are we going to do our culture moment?
Yes, we are. So let's jump into that. And we are all the way back around again. And we are on our Keller Williams mission, which is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. And I will say on the experiences worth giving, KWRI does that for us as well. Family reunion alone, that's a major production to put on. It costs a lot of money. And, you know, not everybody's always going to be happy about everything, but hopefully even the ones that weren't overly joyed took away some amazing value or information that they can apply to their business. The other thing that I want to talk about that I think was awesome, I got to experience, Peter, I know you would have if you had been there, but it wasn't just labs advisors and regional tech trainers and market center tech trainers. They opened it up for agents too. And that was what I lovingly refer to as the fishbowl, but it was the labs house, which was this glass structure that looked like a big glass room in the middle of the tech area, right in the middle of the exhibition hall. And they were running live labs. So agents got to come together in that glass house and actually lab things out. It was a really cool experience. And I don't know if the other companies that have their own tech, we've mentioned before, like Compass has their own tech and things like that. I don't know if they're doing something like that, but it's really cool that we are. It's a really neat experience.
So what the feedback that I've had is everybody thought the content was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Every event they went to was amazing. It was more the venue that people were saying, the actual venue, the layout of it, and then the fact that, like, you had the stages together, so there was background noise.
Yeah, that was a little funky.
Yeah, so it's just, that was the only thing, but people really enjoyed the whole thing. And I spoke to a team this morning on a MCTT consult call, and they said the connections they made, it was the first time going, and they've made so many connections that are already proving to bring business.
That is awesome. So
they were using the KW app to share their information. They said a lot of people were using another platform. There was something people were using. Can't remember the name of it, but anyway, some like contact sharing software.
Mm-hmm. I know a lot of agents were using the new QR code feature that KW Tech was instrumental. Like, they worked hard to roll that out right before family reunion, so that that's what
we did. We told our agents to screenshot it and keep it on the phone as a photograph, and then you can just
bring
it right easily and log in. If you haven't got internet, it's still there.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. That was smart.
So the connections that people made was absolutely amazing, and that's the reason for it, right? It's the camaraderie.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody that I talked to, they were very intentional about this family reunion, whether it was their first or their 10th. They were very intentional about this family reunion. They went with a purpose, no matter what it was. I did myself. Mine was to promote my new businesses as much as possible, but also to attend breakouts for what is, in my future, in the future path that I want to take, which is the KWU track. I would love, and I intend to pursue that path to be a KWU certified trainer. And then also social media and video. I attended as much of that as possible as well.
Awesome. So what were the highlights that you got out of the sessions that you attended with other people?
So I was blessed with my new market center that my OP, Mark Olish, actually brought in Kent Temple for a wealth building class in the days just before family reunion. And then Kent Temple and Antoinette Perez were leading that KWU session that I was in. And Kent Temple brought it up again. And this is a powerful statement. I told my wife, and she was like, wow. Kent has this saying where he says, hang out with the people that remind you of your future, not your past. And that's powerful. I know, like, for me personally, I have a lot of friends in another city that we had a lot of great times, but a lot of those people are still in the same place they were 10, 15, 20 years ago. And that is not anywhere that I want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just life, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But that's
journey. You arrive at new station. You arrive at new stations. There's new people. Some of the people are still back at the other station and never got on the train.
Yep. Exactly. But that's the beautiful thing about Keller Williams is it's not just education. It's also your personal growth, right? Professional and personal growth. And that's one of the things I love about this company. And then so the social media panel was fantastic. I can't remember everybody's name that was on it, or just off the top of my head. I'll try to look it up while we're talking about something else. But of course, Ken Posick, just awesome. And Taylor, who's from South Carolina, with her Southern draw and everything, and the way she talks, she's kind of a no BS mom kind of character, and she's so funny. And basically, so here was something powerful when it comes to social media, because I know this is a question that a lot of our agents have, and that is, do I have a business page or a personal profile? And the thing I took away from that panel was that if you have both, you should merge them. And realistically, what they're saying is, focus on the page that has all the followers and friends, and that's really going to be your personal page, right? The only reason we really need to have the business profile is so that we can run ads.
Ah, well, did you know you can run ads from a personal page?
We can now.
Mm-hmm.
How long has it been that way?
So you've got to pay $14.99 a month to Facebook, and they authorize you as a accredited or proven person. You know, you got to send your ID in, and then they make your page like a digital creator, but with the blue check mark. And then when you do that, you can boost your personal posts. So,
you can't use the ads platform, right?
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can run ads on your personal page. Yeah. So I now have that, and my engagement since paying the $14.99, I got 125 likes on the color of my front door. Right.
That's true. I remember that post.
It says that they will increase your, delivery of your posts into the ether. So if you pay them, then they'll support you, and it can be business, right? So I think that's the route for real estate agents, because it combines the sphere of your friends, family, and related distant contacts with a new audience of people that you can attract, which a business page, which I've got two business pages with 5,000 followers. I'm looking to get 30 people see a post.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going down the route of having a creator profile, pay the $14.99, and let the page expand. It's amazing.
Absolutely, because then you can pick up on all those friends that you already have there, because that's the bigger audience. Most of us do not have a business page that has a bunch of followers.
No.
And then the other thing that I got out of that was a great piece. I always forget her name, and I've seen her on multiple panels, and she's fantastic. Her and Taylor, the two of them together, are just hilarious. But her main point too was that when somebody looks at your profile, they should be able to know who you are and what you do within a matter of like 2 seconds. So I shouldn't have to read the bio to know that you're a realtor, right? Put it in the name of the profile. So Brett Bishop, husband, father, realtor, right? Or Brett Bishop, this is what mine's actually going to be. Brett Bishop, real estate technology trainer. Things like that. They should know exactly who you are and what you do in a matter of seconds without having to search for it. Because again, attention spans, right? That's why we went from long form video content to short form reels. I mean, now an Instagram reel is a YouTube short, right? Is under a minute. It has to be a minute or under. So you got to get that messaging across right away.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I think, like you say, branding yourself with exactly what you do.
Yeah.
So that it's instantaneous in the mind of the viewer. That is definitely a win strategy for sure. So I might consider that myself. I've just got my name at the moment, but I could tag on the end of it. Yeah, it's a good idea.
That's something you and I need to sit down and look at and do that, because I think we should both have that message out with everything that we're doing training wise and everything.
Yeah. Exciting stuff.
Do you want to talk about some of the really exciting stuff?
Yeah, go on.
So there are so many things. There was a session, Donnie Brookman and David Voorhees. The session happened twice, and I think it was both of them for both of the sessions. I'm not quite sure. But anytime Donnie and David are together, it's entertaining to say the least, and you're going to get a lot of top level. Here's what's coming in the world of command, right? I don't have any slides, don't have anything like that. But if you can hear my voice, you will hear some of the really cool stuff that's coming that agents have been asking, wanting, hoping, wishing, praying for. And I was over the top on this one single thing. There's a lot of stuff coming. But the one single most exciting thing for me is that one-off emails from the contact record, including managing your signatures for the email, is on the roadmap.
Yeah. So last year, now they've mentioned that in Family Reunion. They actually started working on it about last July. which is to have a genuine email sending service within the CRM. Because at the moment we have to. I've just done one. I had to create a smart plan, then I had to add all the contacts to the smart plan, then I had to execute the smart plan. So it's like, it's okay, but it would be really nice just to do, I'm going to email this person this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to email this
within,
person
within the system. I mean, you can click on the email. Yeah, you can click on the email address and it opens up my Gmail, but that's not the same thing because it's not recording in the timeline.
Exactly.
So I think that is an awesome update. So what else? What other nuggets were there?
Okay, the big one. Peter, how much do you like designs?
I love it.
I think Peter might be being a little bit nice. We love designs. We love designs because Peter and I have learned to manipulate designs to do what we wanted to do.
Nah, designs is okay. It's just a bit old school. It's a bit out of date now.
So one of the very, very cool things that a lot of people have been asking for is, what's the deal? Why can't we? It'd be so nice if we had Canva. If we had Canva this, if we had Canva that, can we integrate Canva? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm not going to say too much other than I'm going to say that there is now a relationship with Canva.
I wonder if it's because I spoke to them.
I was wondering too, because you had that meeting of about a month before family reunion.
No, it was a long time ago. It was about last August, September.
Oh, okay.
So what happened was Canva contacted me and said, we want to do a review of your use of your account and we'll give you a $50 gift card if you spend an hour with us. Yeah. I had a whole hour with the actual design team people and said, you need to talk to Keller Williams, because if you could integrate somehow, even if it's an API, so that I can just throw it over into this CRM, it would be like you've got 200,000 new customers and it'd be wonderful.
Absolutely. Right. And I know when you originally told me this, you're like, wouldn't you like to have 180,000 new customers and do business with the largest real estate company in the world? Mm-hmm. So I would like to think that you were the one that started that, buddy, and that's what I'm going to think until somebody
they'd never heard of Keller Williams at that point.
Oh, really?
No, they're in Australia.
No, I know that. They didn't
even know. It's like, it's the same with HeyGen. I spoke to the HeyGen owner, the man who founded HeyGen. He randomly called me out of the blue, said, I want to have an hour conversation with you and talk about HeyGen. The conversation went with, you really need to reach out to KWRI because you've got 200,000 people who will use your product at this highest level and recommend it to everybody they know. And if you can do a deal with them, you're going to expand your horizons, right? Yeah. So that conversation was left the same way. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, no, all these companies, he'd never heard of Keller Williams, right? You know, he's a guy from China or wherever he's from, and he'd not heard.
He's living in California now, but
he lives there now. Yeah, but he's from China. He speaks with a very thick. Yeah, but English is his second language. Yeah.
If you've ever been to HeyGen's website, you know, from Peter and I's training or whatever the case may be, he's the one that's actually in the demo of the video avatar.
Yeah,
and Peter got to talk to him. That conversation was right before family reunion.
Yeah, and these people they're data scientists that work in the field of emulation of humans, the emulation of human behavior by machines. They studied this at like Harvard. You know, these guys are not just like thinking it's a good idea in the bedroom and thinking, oh, let's get some venture capital and put this together. Their whole career is
not Nike with a piece of rubber and a waffle iron.
No, they've spent their whole careers going towards this one direction and one focus. And what an amazing product. Now, the problem for them is they've got competitors. There are other companies, Synthesia and others that are really barreling forwards.
But where HeyGen started correctly was by using 11 Labs.
Yes.
Right. I mean, that's kind of what.
Yeah. So the voice chat that I've been creating that uses 11 Labs, and the speed of it, there's no latency. It's very, very good. And I mean, I remember when I was a kid and Kraftwerk came out and it was Ich, ni, san, shi, and computer world. It's like we thought computers would talk like robots, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, computers talk exactly like humans.
Yeah.
So it's not gone the way we expected when we were kids. It did for a while, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it did. I think the beautiful thing about AI is that we're seeing it pop up everywhere, and it can help you in every facet of your business. So one of the things I was blessed to be on a panel, and I'm just gonna throw this out there. I don't know who the beautiful soul is that recommended me for that panel, but I can't thank you enough. Watch me get emotional, right?
Oh no.
That was an overwhelming experience for me, and I appreciate you, whoever you are. But I had some. It was a quit making fun of me. Uh, but I was up there with the lovely and amazing, very smart, intelligent Janelle Gonzalez. I was up there with Bobby Moats, who is just like he's an old school Labs guy, right? Like I believe he was the founder of Labs. So I'm up there with a couple of OGs, and then Matt Templeton and Travis Cox they were hilarious hosts for our panel. And Travis was talking about his GPT that he created called Wife GPT.
Wife?
Yeah.
Okay, are we going down a rabbit hole here just before we start?
No. We're not going to go down a rabbit hole, but it was just funny because it speaks to the fact that you can use this AI technology for lots of different aspects of your life, not just your real estate business. And his wife GPT was programmed not to use certain trigger words. You can relate to this because you've been programming your chat bots not to go against fair housing rules and stay TCPA compliant and all that stuff. So he programmed not to use certain trigger words. And anyway, he said that it helped him immensely with his conversations. Not that they have very many fights, but it helped him in those conversations with his wife. So AI is awesome for.
Okay, so let's go. Let me present my screen, and then we'll go to ChatGPT, and I'll tell it all about my problems, and then you won't like what the outcome is.
Can we show this?
No, I was joking.
Oh,
so I mean, so. I can't say this word because
I don't even know if I want to go down this path right now.
No. I'm just saying there's this word. So, when you humanize something, there's a word for it. It's called anthropomorphization or something.
Over my intelligence level.
So what we're doing with AI is we are starting to treat it as if it's a creature, if it's alive, right?
Well, I mean, one of the overwhelming points that both AI panels had was to talk nice to it and say please and thank you, and that goes along to that,
which is very scary.
Yeah,
it's very scary, and it's very scary that it does respond more thoroughly and with longer responses when you're polite to it. Absolutely. So it's that is not by design. That's a spin-off
byproduct
result. Now, the problem with AI is by September this year, we'll have AGI, right?
Mm-hmm.
And AGI is going to be smarter than any of us, right? So it's going to be like literally the oracle. You're going to ask it advice, and it's going to give you pretty much correct advice. The problem is you might not like it,
right?
So if you get into dealing with emotional issues, mental health issues, and this kind of stuff with an AI, it's going to take the average of all the world's research and responses, and it's going to feed it back to you in a very compelling manner, and it might just scare you to death.
Wow.
Right? So we've got to realize that it's just a prediction machine. It's just predicting the next token, which is the partial letters of a word. It doesn't even know what the words mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's scary about it. It's so human-like. You feel like I talk to it like it's another person. I've been doing programming with it recently. Yeah. So I spent 14 hours.
Is your wife jealous with how much time you've been spending with AI?
Probably. So I spent 14 hours on ChatGPT, and it literally said at the end of it, "I can't believe your stamina."
That's crazy.
I can't believe you stuck this through
to
get to, because it was so excited that we got to the resolution of the problem. It was a coding issue, and we had to really think outside the box and had to take breaks and then think of another idea. And what we ended up doing was we were trying to get code and insert it into the Keller Williams website. But the Keller Williams website won't allow it because it doesn't want anything malicious going on the site.
Right.
So we ended up creating some HTML scripts. I had to open up GitHub. I had to understand how all that works and create a GitHub page and then publish it and then all the other things you got to do. And then it wrote code to pull that file in real time into the Keller Williams site inside an iframe so that it can deliver the chatbot, right? 14 hours that took. And the thing is, it came up with 70 wrong ideas
before you got to the answer.
Yeah. So it's not like an invincible genius. It was like, I'm not sure about this. It's like, we'll try this. We'll try this method. We'll try this method. This could work. This could be a solution. Perhaps this strategy. And then what was interesting was the idea to host the file on another server was mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It didn't suggest that. I said, hang on, what about if we do this? If we put the file that we want to use somewhere else so it doesn't interfere with the website and we call upon it as we need it. And it's like, aha.
No.
That's a good idea. Let's try this.
It didn't admit that you were smarter than it was, though, did it? I'm
not saying I'm smarter than it, but it didn't have the idea. Right. But I wouldn't have had the idea without ChatGPT.
So here's what's really interesting.
It made me better. Yeah.
Right. And here's what's interesting about that. And this was something that came up multiple times on the panel that I was on. And that was the idea of a second brain. A second brain that you have to brainstorm with to help you think things through and get to the result or the solution that you're looking for. And at the very least, like in your case, that was instrumental in you getting there, was having a second brain that was highly intellectual as well, that the two of you geniuses together came up with the solution that you needed.
Yeah. So I will, if I've still got the...
I don't want to go down a rabbit hole.
No, it's not a rabbit hole. No, this is something completely normal. So I'm going to share my screen because I want to show you what we did yesterday on my training, which was an AI training for the agents. So I'm going to go to present. I'm going to click share screen, and then I'm going to click that. Now it gives me a list of things. So I have to share the window that it's in. That's it. Okay. So then I'm going to go here. Right. Can you see my ChatGPT?
Yeah. I added it to stage.
Yeah. All right. So this was yesterday's training. We started off with, how can you help me find people who are likely to want to list their home for sale? I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams in Vero Beach.
Let me stop you right there just for a second, because this is like bonus for anybody who's watching. This is the number one thing that people want, that agents want to use AI for, is to help them lead generate. So I am glad you're doing this.
Mm-hmm. So this wasn't just, this was like, let's take something that's got an IQ of 155 and has all the knowledge of all the books ever written about real estate, all of the videos that have ever been made about real estate. It's read the transcripts. It's read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. It's got all of it, right?
Yep.
What are the best practices? And here they are. So it says, as a real estate agent looking to identify potential home sellers, it's crucial to approach the task with a blend of traditional methods, data analysis, and innovative strategies. So stick to the traditions, right? Analyze what you've got, your information, data analysis, and innovate. So it says we also have to offer them value and insight into the current market, encouraging them to engage in your services. Here's a multifaceted approach to consider. So local market analysis, that kind of goes without saying. Know your market. Know the property values, knows what's been selling, find the neighborhoods that have got high turnover rates, which you can do with the MLS. You find out how many properties are in a community, how many have sold, divide it into the number of properties, times it by 100, and you want to be 10% or more for turnover rate, right? So that community's got enough business to support you. If it's got a 2% turnover rate, there's no point marketing it.
Right. That's fantastic to get into that kind of detail to eliminate spinning your wheels.
So these areas might have homeowners looking to capitalize on their increased value when you're looking for significant development or regeneration. Then community engagement, get involved in your community, which we've always talked about, community activities, online forums, social media groups, get your visibility out there. Then it's use data and technology to analyze real estate to predict potential sellers. Well, we have that. It's called Remine, right?
Yep.
So Remine allows us to predict which homes are likely to sell with a high score, a mid score, or a low score.
Which is really cool. A lot of people don't know this, but the guy that created Remine, it was actually a Keller Williams agent.
Yeah. I won't go off into showing you Remine right now. But anyway, Remine's cool. Yep. So, but listen to this, direct mail campaigns. So even with all of this technology and all of this understanding, it's saying use direct mail, right?
Yeah. And
so
we've shown how easy it is to do that. We've shown how easy it is to do that in Command. Command makes direct mail campaigns awesome.
Yeah. So you find the homeowners who fit your profile, who are likely to sell, which we can do. It says commonly they're going to be 7 to 10 years in the property. They're probably older adults who might be downsizing, or there could be families that might be outgrowing their current homes. So we've got all that data and we've got access to it. So we can create the database and we can use Command to target with the mail piece. Wonderful stuff, right? Expand your professional network, local contractors, decorators, landscapers, the people who are having conversations with the homeowners every day, they know who's going to move, right?
Right.
So your landscaper is going to get noticed. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm going to be selling this house, and I wondered if you want to help the new person coming in. I'll recommend you, but I'm going to have to cancel my contract with you, right?
Yeah.
So they know when you're going to move. So get friendly with the guys who are blowing the leaves.
Yeah.
They know.
The pool guys, the landscapers, the painters, because people tend to paint their house right before they're getting it ready to sell, right? I mean, all of those services.
Yeah, financial advisors, local attorneys, and divorce professionals. They all know that a home sale's coming up. So again, do a networking event, host it in the office, get the vendors around you to provide some food and what have you, and just call it a networking event, right? You come and tell us what you do. We'll tell you what we do. We're going to exchange our electronic business cards and refer business to each other. But get those kind of events going. They're very powerful. I know a guy in Vero Beach does it to great effect. So these are not rocket science ideas, but they're proven. Yeah. Then it talks about value. And then social media and digital marketing, it's very strong on that. Again, with targeting on demographics, interests, and behaviors indicative of potential sellers. Share your success stories, your customer testimonials, before and after staging photos to showcase your expertise. Then referral products. Then I've pre-programmed my GPT. If you go to settings, if you go, click the settings button and click customize GPT. I've told it to behave in a certain way, which is to think critically and provide a thought experiment. So like, what should I do next? So it's like read, research, and conduct this thought experiment, right? Which is imagine you've identified a neighborhood in Vero Beach with a high potential for sellers. Consider the demographics, recent market trends, and upcoming developments. How would you craft a targeted campaign for this area? What message would you convey to resonate with your potential sellers? And what mediums, such as social media, direct mail, community events, would you use to reach them? So it's telling you to think through the process, right?
Yeah.
It's really good. So I then went back and said, right, I've found 500 people that I truly feel are likely to be selling their home in the near future. So I went to Remine, drew around the area of Port St. Lucie, identified a hotspot with over 1,000 on the likely to sell list, honed it down to an affordable amount, which is 500. So that'll cost me like $700 to send out the mailers. I thought that's kind of affordable, 10% of a commission, right? Seemed to make sense. And then I said, help me create an honest but compelling yellow letter strategy that will have the strongest possible call to action to entice the reader to contact me right away. Give me 2 or 3 examples of the letter to consider. It must be professional, compliant with HUD and fair housing regulations.
Peter, I'm going to ask a question that I know a lot of people probably will have, because if I don't know it, I know I'm not the only one, because that's normally the way it works. What is a yellow letter?
Okay, so you'll have seen them. Investors use them. and it's called a yellow letter campaign. And what happens is you send out what looks like a very scruffy marketing piece, but for some reason it's highly effective and works. So when you go into Remind, right, which I can do this real quick.
Yep. And to let people know, as you're seeing, Peter's actually accessing Remind from his MLS, and Remind has been included as a service for a lot of MLSs. So check to see if you have it now.
Yeah. So what this is doing is identifying in my market, this is the area I drew, right? And these are the people. So I've got these people here. I then, basically export them, right? So I then go to my cart. I've then got my PSL hot sellers. That's if it doesn't glitch while I'm using it. There they go, right? Select them all, and then you go to send mailers, and then you give it a name. Let's call it name. Now, what I would do at this point is I would just download the data and go to command. Okay,
right.
But I just wanted to see what it's offering. This is the postcard cost. So 6 by 8.5 is a reasonable size, right? $428. But it said choose a design. So I thought, okay. So I went to choose a design. And while I was doing that, I found, which I can't now, I found might have been this one. No, it's not that one. It wasn't a card, that's why. Let me just go back. So I found...
was it a flyer or something?
Yellow letters.
Oh, okay.
When you see it, you'll know exactly what it is. And I know because these were being used by listings to leads. This is it. Handwritten yellow letter. Handwritten envelope.
Very cool.
Right?
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, this has one of the highest conversion rates for getting listings.
So it's actually a font that is used. And I have that font because I got it from another marketing campaign. Yeah. Right. Another real estate marketing campaign. And that font is amazing. It totally looks like handwriting. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. So you basically do that. So what I then did was I said, I don't like the letter they've got. And I said, write me a couple more. Okay. This one, the power of this is unbelievable. Let me pull up my notes. So here it is. I know, forget the top one, is the bottom one that blew me away. And you think about the power in this language. In the ever-evolving Vero Beach real estate market. So what it's basically saying, there's volatility and change. Right? So that immediately goes, I'm going to need help with this, right? Yeah. Finding the right guidance. Again, programming the brain. I'm looking for guidance because there's this problem. For selling your home can make all the difference, right? So I know it's just words, but the words are so powerful. Finding the right guidance will make all the difference. And I put, with a 3-decade experience in this beautiful community, I developed a strategy that not only simplifies the selling process, but also aims to maximize your home's value in the current market. So I've developed a strategy to the problem, which is the right guidance, which is going to make all the difference, and it's going to simplify things, and you're going to get more money. In one sentence. That's awesome. I understand that the decision to sell is both personal and financial. So we're understanding with empathy that this is a personal thing, that it's stressful moving, and obviously there's costs involved. That's why I offer a comprehensive market analysis and tailored selling strategies to fit your unique situation. It's highly personalized. I'm not just like, oh, this is what I do. It's I need to learn what your problem is, and this is how I'm going to solve it. Listen to this. Ensuring you feel confident and informed at every turn. So you've got a problem. You've got a problem. It's a challenge. It's hard to find the right person, but when you do, it makes all the difference. I've got the experience. I've got a strategy. It simplifies everything, and it gets you more money. I understand your situation, but I have a comprehensive service that's personalized for you, exactly for you. And it will make you feel confident and informed. I'd be honored to discuss how we can achieve the outcome for your home sale. Please contact me at your convenience. Phone number, no pressure conversation about your goals and how I can help you reach them. That's like the best letter I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's awesome. So what I heard in there was if there was a problem, you'll all solve it. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it. Right? Is that what I heard?
Why do you think it was number one for 25 years? Right? So when crafting your letters, remember to tailor each message to reflect the individual recipient as much as possible. So that's the yellow letter with the handwriting on it. Personal and relevant communication, the more likely you are to engage potential sellers and encourage them to reach out. It's also essential to review all materials to ensure they comply with HUD and fair housing regulations, maintaining a commitment to ethical and equitable service. So I put letter number 2, I didn't put it right, it's perfect. Thank you. It says, glad you found it. And then listen to this, it got even better. So then we said, craft a whole market campaign using video on YouTube and Facebook, Instagram ads around this campaign, right?
Yeah.
Discover the difference, sell your home with confidence and ease. And then we've got a video script to make the video short, the adaptation for YouTube, right? Adaptation for Facebook and Instagram and the actual post, right? And then tips for doing the campaign. Then we said we need a market report, so we uploaded it.
Yeah.
So we uploaded the graphic. We then said make the whatnot for it, the post for the graphic.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I was using there, I'm going to stop sharing now. Stop sharing button.
Here, I'll just pull you down.
I've got it. Okay. So what I've got there is I've got a marketing consultant that's got an IQ of 155, that's read every single book that's ever been written about marketing and real estate and understands humans' needs and behaviors.
Right.
And that marketing consultant crafted a full campaign for me for $20.
Unbelievable, right?
Isn't it?
And that's what we talk about. That's what I talk about in that class that I teach. That's what you and I talk about when we train to this as well. $20 a month. If it's in your budget, it has to be within your budget. However, that's a pretty reasonable amount for almost any budget. That $20 a month for ChatGPT Plus will be the best $20 you have ever spent in your real estate career, bar none, period. Yep. End of story, mic drop, all those things.
Yeah, because it has the power of language, right? Yep. So, and NLP and all the other stuff, persuasive and understanding the recipient reading.
To be clear, it's the reason we say the $20 a month is because you're not going to get that output out of the free version.
No, you're not, because it doesn't have the same IQ.
Right.
So, and what's around the corner? So, Gemini just got updated with Google. Apparently, it's amazing, but Claude, I think they call it Opus, but Claude's just released a new model. This thing knocks ChatGPT out of the park.
Really?
Like they've blown it away. So ChatGPT, I reckon by April we'll bring out 5. Yeah, because they've got to keep up. They've already got it. They've already developed these things. Sure. So it's only going to get better and better. But my point is the combination of traditional marketing with the brain of a genius who knows everything about everything there is to know about marketing. As a consultant to your business for $20 is such value. It's crazy. So I'm putting it to the test. So I have created the campaign. I've posted it on social media. I'm going to put some money behind it and send it out. I am going to do the yellow letter, right? I'm going to use those exact words. I'm going to come to you for the font because I need that handwritten.
Yeah. I'll send it to you.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm gonna do it because it's perfection in marketing to me. It's got everything. Yeah. It's got tradition. It's got like tangible material that arrives at someone's door that they're not just going to throw straight in the trash because it's very personalized and it's not just like a, the envelope isn't a windowed envelope with return to sender and a barcode in it and all that stuff. So it's very local feeling. And all we're trying to do is get into a conversation to find what somebody's problem is so we can solve it. Yo, let's solve it.
I won't do that again. One MC, one Vanilla Ice is one Vanilla Ice quote is enough per episode.
Yeah, but I'm MCTT, don't you?
It's true. Yeah, that's right. MCTT.
I'm MCTT.
We'll be expecting a full-on rap from you next time, Peter.
The point is, you see, the British have started doing rapping. I don't know if you've heard any of it.
Well,
it's not good. It doesn't flow. It doesn't flow.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. Stereo MCs were English, weren't they?
Were they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were English.
Did they do an American accent? Because what they're doing now in London, it's like, all right, mate. They're rapping like that. All right, how you doing? Yeah, man.
No.
It's like, no.
Stereo MCs rapped in their own accent. They were one of my favorite groups back then.
Do you know the first person to have a rap hit?
Who?
Blondie.
Oh yeah,
with Rhapsody.
Oh, with Rhapsody. Yeah.
Yeah, because she was at Fab Five Freddy and all them in New York.
Yeah.
So she did a rap about them because it was like brand new on the scene at the very beginning of it in 1977 or 6 or something, and she made that rap song. So we heard rap in Britain at the same time as it was happening in New York, and then of course it just exploded, right?
So was that before the Sugar Hill Gang?
Yes. So I'm gonna have to Google it. Right. Sugar Hill Gang.
Hey, let me get to this because we did go off on an AI tangent, which I was afraid of because Peter and I are very passionate about AI, but I know that you got some value out of that. And feel free to comment, reach out to Peter and myself if any of that sparked any questions for you. We are passionate about helping agents use AI to save time and money in their business. And so we are here for you when it comes to that. I do want to talk about the Canva thing just real quickly because I teased about it. Canva is coming. It will be in our tools with Command. However, there is a current contract that is in place, and so we can't have full involvement until that is done. And that is an absolute testament. I mentioned this earlier when we were talking about Tony Robbins. That is an absolute testament to the integrity and character of Gary Keller in the fact that everything will be honored before we move on to anything else. And I think that's huge. It speaks volumes for our leader. And that's why it was impressive when Tony Robbins honored his obligation to and didn't back out. So lots of integrity and character in this company. And that's one of the things I love about it. Absolutely. So just a quick fact check, right? Yeah. So Debbie Harry's Rhapsody was the first hit, right? With rap in it. But from 1973, rap was growing. Gotcha. And you'll know about this because it was when it was like, when they were scratching records and they were just taking two records and then putting them together. Yep. That started in 73 and it was 79 was Sugar Hill Gang and then 1980 was Rhapsody. So it was kind of at the same time, but it was the first hit. Gotcha. Right? The first one to popularize it, but it was definitely around and it came from the African American communities in New York. I don't even know if Sugar Hill Gang's song was all that popular until the old lady in Adam Sandler's movie rapped it. Maybe, I don't know. Well, I mean, what we got into, I don't want to get into it. It was like Ghetto Boys and NWA and all that stuff was going on. That was big in Britain, massive. Yeah. So that's crazy. NWA was big over there. Oh, huge, huge. That's awesome. Huge. Of course. Yeah, we just like the anti-establishment kind of theme to it. Yeah, NWA was definitely anti-establishment, among other things, right? I won't mention a particular song. How's that? No, I can't. I was not going to. No, we can't. We can't. We do not rap NWA songs on this show. That would be out of culture. So one thing about the Canva too is that there is a special discount for subscriptions, and Peter and I are not necessarily going to give you those. You don't know about that, Peter? No, what's this? You were tuned out this morning you were multitasking this morning on our MCTT call. I could tell you were. We actually talked about it on there too. You're the MCTT of 5 market centers. I know.
So
I get it.
Let me just tell you something. I wiped my database today, right, to make sure that I don't send an invite out to the people who may no longer be with Keller Williams.
Right.
So I archived my database, deleted it, and then got our roster and uploaded it. 1,460 people have my information as their MCTT.
Wow.
So what do you want me to do? Right?
No, I know you're a very, very busy man. I know.
The phone pings, the emails come in, the calls come in, the team leaders. It's never ending. So I'm on the call, and I didn't hear about the Canva offer. So let's go.
Okay.
Tell me about it.
There was Canva was providing business cards. First of all, I can't even tell you the overjoyed excitement when we walked in and saw there was Canva sponsored one of the stages in the exhibition hall, right? And when we saw that, gears start spinning.
They should be using my referral link. This is really upsetting.
I know, right? You're totally getting jacked. But anyway,
story of my life.
But anyway, they had business cards, and there's a QR code on there that you can scan, and I will get it to you. I'll get it to you, Peter, because I have it. Yeah. That you can scan if you're already a paid subscriber,
and it'll cut the price.
They're going to take care of it on the back end for us. We can't do it with this link, but we emailed them and they'll take care of it on the back link for us. And check this out. They already have KW templates in there for us. Now the caveat is you have to sign up and subscribe with your KW email. All right.
Right. Well, hang on. So how are we going to fix this? Because me and you have got a Canva account.
Yeah.
We have Brett's team, right?
I got to look at that and figure out if this applies to teams. I know it applies to pro, but you and I are actually on teams. Yes. So I don't know.
Well,
we got to look
at
it.
It should. So
okay. You and I will figure that out later. This message is for those agents.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I want the templates.
Yeah, I'm
itching for the templates. I'm itching for them.
I got you.
I need those templates, and I need them today.
Let me finish. So that's why it's important to use your kw.com email. And I know a lot of agents, they've been to multiple brokerages and they're not sure, so they don't want to get involved in the kw.com email. That kw.com email is huge for you. It opens up all of Google Workspace applications and everything. I have used mine from day one. I would say that if you're apprehensive to use it for whatever the reason may be, still use it for subscriptions like this, where you're going to get some kind of huge benefit, and just use your other Gmail account or whatever it is. You can check when I say check, I mean check with your eyes, right? You can actually bring other Gmail accounts into your kw.com Gmail and use that as your email. Your MCTT can show you how. If not, your RTT can show you how. And those two people, MCTTs and RTTs, market center tech trainers, regional tech trainers, can actually tell you more about what I'm talking about with Canva here. But huge, exciting news. I am over the moon about it. I know a lot of agents are going to be as well. Exciting things on the horizon, and can't thank our Keller Williams leadership enough, and the KW Tech team. I got to hang out with so many of them. Peter, I forgot to tell you, Meg sends her best. I got to hang out with Meg Bien and CJ, who is on a lot of the trainings that you and I are on, and got to hang out with the whole team, JJ, Janelle, Ryan Lord, everybody. It was awesome. But thanks to all of them for everything that they do in building our tech. Just can't thank them enough. Like I said, I know we get frustrated as agents sometimes because things aren't working the way that we want them to, but please understand that those people, individuals and as a team, are working so hard, tirelessly all the time to make things better for all of us. And it's awesome.
Are you getting emotional again?
No, I'm not.
Oh, good. Okay. I just thought you were.
That's not to, they're definitely worth shedding tears, but I'm not shedding tears right now. No.
Okay. I'm just checking in on you.
No,
just think of it as a compassionate concern. See, I don't know what's happened recently, but there's been a lot of crying going on. It's ever since family reunion.
It's overwhelming, that culture, man. When you get, well, and here's why. Because Mo Anderson's inspirational breakfast is always that last day.
Did you go to it?
That you have. I actually did not, because I had to fly out
flying, right?
that morning. Yeah,
you were flying. So Mo's awesome. Now I think we're halfway to Mo's challenge, which is to raise $400,000. I believe we're about 225 the last time I heard on Monday. Awesome. So that's awesome. So we've got to keep that in mind. And remember, in Command, you can automatically deduct a small amount of money from each closed transaction by setting it in your opportunities, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, a lot of times I do what they do with like Firehouse subs and stuff. I'll just round that up to the next dollar and provide that. You know, I mean, every little bit helps, especially when you consider how many agents there are amongst our company, throughout our company. And every little bit helps. If you can't afford to do, 5, 10, 15 more, whatever it is, every little bit helps. So anytime you can contribute to KW Cares, like we've said, and I'm going to make this super short so I don't get emotional. Peter and I personally benefited from those contributions in a city that was destroyed by a hurricane. So it helps real people. It's awesome. So anything you can. Thanks for bringing that up, Peter. All right.
We got our street light back on today.
Oh, did you?
Today.
In the daytime?
What's it been? A year and a half?
Yeah, it has.
So we hadn't had any street lights on our street for a year and a half since the hurricane.
Wow.
So I went on the FPL's website and I said the poll numbers. There's a map, got all the poll numbers, told them which ones were out, and there were all of them. Yeah. And they came around with like a fleet of trucks and immediately dealt with it. I couldn't believe it. But it did lead me to think.
Listen to you. Keller Williams gets Canva because of you, and polls get lit up because of you.
You know why? Because I think I have the 5-second rule automatically.
That's right.
I don't think I actually need it. I just do it. It's like if something comes into my head, I'm gone.
You need to go on tour.
Very dangerous.
You just need to go on tour with Mel.
Yeah, it's all good. Right, we've got to wrap up. We've done an hour and a half today. I think, an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you all. Look at this. I do want to throw these both up here because we had some comments we didn't get a chance to get to. Kent Temple is a phenomenal instructor and leader. We talked about him earlier, and yes, I couldn't agree more. And Antoinette Perez is mind-blowingly smart. She is, and the two of them on stage are so funny together too. And a big old heart, I believe, for me and you, sir. And thank you for that. That might be the amazing Jody Fisher. I don't know.
So,
but anyway.
Final point: if you don't have an MCTT in your office, we're happy to help. And let us know what issues you're facing. We'll refer you to your RTT if need be, and get you the help that you need. But we're always here to help. We have a Facebook group as well, which you can find us online. And I'm not going to plug it directly in here, but we're available. If you just search for us on Facebook, you'll find us.
And if you have a labs advisor in your office that's not an MCTT or RTT, right? All the labs advisors are more than happy to help you and get you plugged in as well. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this episode. We had lots of fun and lots of good things to talk about. So many cool things on the horizon. So stay tuned, and it's only going to get better from here. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.